Alright, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Ashwaubenon Bowling Alley here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. This is Matt Canizaro and Emil Williams Jr., and we are live for the second round of match play here at the 2017 Go Bowling PWBA Players Championship. It's been a fun but long week so far for these competitors. They bowled 18 games of qualifying over 2 days. Then we cut the field down from 67 PWBA members to 18 for match play. And they'll bowl 18 games of round robin. Well, 6 games yesterday afternoon, 6 here this morning, and then we'll have 6 coming up later today. After which, total pinfall for 36 games, including bonus pins for each win in match play, will determine the top 4, and those 4 players will advance to tomorrow's live finals. We'll see that on CBS Sports Network at noon Eastern. And that show will be live, and then we'll have 3 shows taped for broadcast in July for 3 previous events: PWBA Wichita Open, the Pepsi PWBA Lincoln Open, and the PWBA Detroit Open. So all those finalists rolling into town now, getting ready for those shows, and they'll be joined by the 4 from this week's Players Championship. So if you want to check out the standings so far through the first round of match play, you can do that. Just visit pwba.com/live. And that'll get you all the details. You want to check out qualifying, round 1, 2, or 3. Match play standings through round 1, all there. Current leader, Lindsay Boomershine, will win her 3rd PWBA event of the season. Started things off, had her son in February. So needed some time to get back in bowling shape and get comfortable. And then has been struggling with a knee injury as well. So her big breakout earlier this year was at the USBC Queens. She was the leading qualifier. Format there, of course, much different. So being number 1 didn't have the same value as it does here at the Players Championship. Pinfall did not carry over there. Here it carries through wire to wire. So Boomershine and Kelly Kulik had a nice little cushion after qualifying here. Needed every bit of it, as Lindsay was passed for the lead in the 5th game of match play yesterday. Got it back, though, in the final game of the day. So she leads the way. Her plus-minus for the event is at plus 519. She won 3 matches, so picked up 90 bonus pins there. But plus 519 leading the way here. She is followed by Malaysia's Shaidatul Hamidi. Shaidatul at 52.99. 20 pins back. 3rd place, the USBC Hall of Famer Liz Johnson. She's been pretty quiet this week, but slowly creeping her way up the standings now in 3rd place. She was 4-2 yesterday in match play. Her pinfall total 52.40. She's followed by Kelly Kulik at 52.04 plus 404. And in 5th place, also from Malaysia, CT Rockman at plus 388. So, very strong Malaysian contingent here. They had 6 players overall. 5 of them advanced to match play. 4 are in the top 10 right now. 6th place, Brittany Smith of Iowa, plus 374. 7th, Lee Jane Sin of Malaysia, 339. Leanne Holsenberg, the Hall of Famer, plus 311. Danielle McEwen here in our featured pair is at plus 250. So a little separation happening there in the middle of the pack. Esther Chia of Malaysia is 10th at plus 225. Rocio Restrepo here in our featured pair is 11th at plus 223, followed by Deandra Beatty at plus 219, and then a real drop off. 13th place is Amanda Green at plus 147, but still a long way to go. 12 games of match play coming up today. 30 bonus pins for each win on the line. Here in our featured pairs, 35 and 36, 37 and 38 here at the Ashwaubenon Bowling Alley. We've got Danielle McEwen taking on Rocio Restrepo. And to our right, it is Shannon Plachowski, the lone left-hander, in the match play field. And Sabrina Divis, a school teacher who really has been a standout in the few events she has been able to bowl on the PWBA Tour. So that's your recap of yesterday's action coming in now. Standings available again at pwba.com/live. We also have live scoring there, so if you want to follow your favorite player across the center, you certainly can do that. We're just using the middle of this 60-lane venue right now. Again, there's only 18 players remaining. The low side of the house being set up for those TV shows. If you're just stopping in, the finals of this PWBA Players Championship will be tomorrow at noon Eastern, live on CBS Sports Network. Then the additional 3 shows will be taped for delayed broadcast in July. So that whole schedule can be found on pwba.com. If you find this particular event, the Go Bowling PWBA Players Championship, in the event details, it will tell you what the taping times are for those events and when they're going to air. And of course, along the way, on the official PWBA Facebook page and Twitter account, as those events approach on CBS Sports Network, we will have preview stories and reminders so you don't forget to watch those when they come on. Restrepo started things off here with the front 6. Errant shot there leaves the 3-pin to end her run. She has a huge advantage here in this opening game of match play against Danielle McEwen. And Restrepo entering the day in 11th place at plus 223. She's 181 pins out of the top 4 right now, but looking to pick up a few sticks here. Danielle McEwen 9th at plus 250, so just ahead of Restrepo. In our other match, Divis leads Plachowski at the halfway point by 7. Looks like a 1 spare in the 6th frame. No count lost as she was on a strike, but I would have been looking a little closer to see what happened there. Alright, well, we just took a look at that one spare, and that'll make the highlight reel for sure. But able to pick it up and maintaining her lead over Shannon Pluhowski. Restrepo continues to lead McEwen here. Again, we will have 6 games of round-robin match play here in Ashwaubenon. And we'll take a short break and come back for the final 6 games. Again, after which 18-game pinfall totals will determine the 4 players who advance to tomorrow's TV show. Next round will come up at 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll have that for you live here on Extra Frame. And then a recap later tonight on PWBA.com, so you can check out the thoughts and get the details from today's leader, who will be the #1 seed for the TV show. Shot there by Pluhowski. She's got some work to do. She's going to make her way up the standings. Currently in 14th place. Went 4-2 in match play yesterday. 272 pins out of the top 4 as of right now. She's plus 132. Averaging just over 200 for the event. Mentioned Lindsay Boomershine was your top qualifier after 18 games. Shannon Pluhowski was the cut at plus 4, so she averaged 200.2 to make it into the top 18 in match play. 2 pins behind her was defending champion Clara Guerrero. A couple pins on count on a fill ball across the 18 games, and that did it for the defending champ. Nice break there for Divis. She still holds a slim lead over Pluhowski. Pluhowski will finish first. And put the pressure on her. Here we are, 10th frame underway. McEwen and Restrepo. Danielle with a late 4-bagger. She can get to 238. Force Restrepo to mark in the 10th. This week's oil pattern is a secret from the players and the staff. It will be unveiled on the TV show tomorrow. So the players have had to go old school. Shot there by McEwen for the 5-bagger. They've gone old school and had to figure things out just by watching ball reaction and learning from pair to pair across the rounds all week long. Now this is the best of the best. Again, we started with 67 PWBA members this week. This event open to members only. As the Players Championship, it is the second major on the PWBA schedule here in 2017. The first was the USBC Queens. That was in May. McEwen gets 5 on the fill now. So that changes things a little bit for Restrepo in the 10th frame here. Pluhowski continues to put the pressure on Divis. Essentially, she'll have to match what Pluhowski does. Shandy can get to 211. Max score for Sabrina, 215. 5 count now. Restrepo has this match in hand. Another great shot. And rings the 10. It's enough for her. Blahowski finishes with 210. So Sabrina will have to double in the 10th here. Restrepo cleans things up. For a young up-and-coming player, this is a big learning moment for Divis. Having to double against one of the best in the game. I know it's only match play here, but certainly a learning opportunity, and unable to strike first shot in the 10th. So best she can do now is 193. Blahowski with the late string of strikes will take home the victory here in game number 1. Restrepo 245, McEwen 233. Third bonus spins to Rocio. If you're in the neighborhood, definitely come by sometime today. Check out match play. It's going to get exciting later this afternoon as we get closer to learning who our top 4 will be. And of course, if you want to be part of the TV shows, come on out. Reasonably priced. You can find all the details at PWBA.com. 4 shows back to back, to back, to back. It's going to be a good time. And Blahowski finishes out the win 210-193 over Divis. Restrepo over McEwen. And we'll get ready for our next group of players coming our way. This is Matt Cannizzaro and Emil Williams Jr. Match play rolling on here at the 2017 Go Bowling PWBA Players Championship. Game 2 of 6 coming up in just a minute. We'll be right back.
All right, folks, game 2 is underway. The Go Bowling PWBA Players Championship. Hope all is well with you this morning. Bright and early here in Green Bay. As Matthew mentioned, of course, obviously match play round 2, and then round 3 will begin this afternoon. We continue to whittle our way on down to our 4 TV finalists. 2 solid matches here. Deandra Asbeatty taking on Kelly Kulick. Maria Jose Rodriguez and Jody Wessner. Other matches going on here in game 2. Game 2 today, game 8 overall in match play. Game 26, if my math is correct. Game 26 overall. Asbeatty, good shot there. Strikes in the 3rd. McEwen taking on Pluhowski. Green and looks like Esther Chia, Liz Johnson, and Brittany Smith. Sabrina Davis, Lindsay Boomershine. Lee Jane Sin versus Shaidal Hamidi. Check out live scoring. Really good shot there from Kulick. Oh, Kelly out now, spare double. 2 players with, I should say, 2 high-profile players. Certainly within the industry, within the sports. And still, of course, remaining relevant with their performances. Of course, Deandra making TV, qualifying for TV last week in Detroit, and now a match play appearance this week at the Players. Really revitalizing her career, of course, winning the 2012 USBC Queens. Her last title, last time you saw her on television. Doesn't mean that she hasn't been doing a lot of bowling and giving back to the sport as well, which she does on a regular basis almost every weekend with her Elite Youth Tour. Of course, Kelly Kulick. Then taking the throne for and running with it for women's bowling, leading the charge. When the PWBA was on its hiatus, between her and Liz Johnson, competing consistently with the men and, of course, beating them, as Kelly did, and one of the more historic victories of all time. For Deandra, though, one of the keys has been not only kind of regaining, not that she lost it per se, but just once again believing that she can certainly win. And then from a physical game perspective, she realized that her rev rate and ball speed weren't really matching up. She thought she bowled pretty well. I do remember that she bowled pretty well last year, hit the pocket a lot, but her carry was not too good. And so went to the drawing board as she gets a break there. Between her husband John and his good friend Jason Belmonte, talking and noticing some things. Top of the backswing, for example. Hand was open, so she had been working on keeping her thumb down at the top of the swing. Again, the drop in weight from 15 pounds to 14. So ball roll is different. Able to get down the lane, retain some energy a little better, and go through the pins the right way. You hear that a lot. All the players say they, at every level, the ball really needs to go through the pins the right way, and it's for maximum carry percentage. Entry angle. Rodriguez, who was out of the cut number for round 3. Talk about getting the job done. Going 100 over and some change to make match play. Of course, she is a major winner herself. 2014 USBC Queens. Jody Westner threw the back 5 to make match play, shooting .238 the final game of qualifying yesterday afternoon. Updated scores for you. PWBA.com/live. Shai Hamidi at plus 551. Out the gates this morning, 222, 6-1. So far in match play. Lindsey Boomershine is second, plus 532. Kelly Kulik is third at plus 467. CT Rockman is fourth at plus 438. Liz Johnson, 3 pins back. Fourth at plus 435. Brittany Smith is in sixth at plus 394. Lee Jane Sin in seventh, plus 329. Leanne Holstenberg is eighth. There's carry on the 4-pin from Westner. Lee Jane is seventh. Leanne Holstenberg eighth. Rocio Restrepo is in ninth. And Danielle McEwen is 10th. As Beatty 11th. Esther Chia is in 12th. Pluhowski is in 13th. Sabrina Davis is in 14th. Amanda Green, Shalyn Zulkifli, Maria Jose Rodriguez, and Jody Westner. Last year, match play, the field was cut to the top 16. This year, the top 18. Yesterday we had some really good matches, specifically on the feature pair. They all seem to be, at least at some point, it became a 3-pin match late in a game on one of our pairs. For a while it was 37-38. We had a close, 2 close matches 35 and 36 yesterday. So we've got our close match on 37 and 38. 30 pins the difference here. 35 and 36. Over on 39 and 40, Liz Johnson and Brittany Smith locked in a good one. So Liz can get to 239. She just struck in the ninth. So Brittany Smith, max score 279 right now. 9-spare, 9-spare, 6-bagger. As she is about to step up in the ninth frame. Brittany Smith opened some eyes last year. Won a few PWBA events, most notably the Greater Detroit Open. Top 10 finish. In fact, finished tied for 7th. Or 5th, excuse me. Losing to Stephanie Johnson to Miss Television. And she does strike in the ninth frame. Brittany just 44 pins out of 4th. Has bowled superbly. Last couple days, specifically yesterday during round 3 of the qualifying rounds. With 200 over. 100 over in round number 2. And continuing to bowl well, and she boomerangs the 10-pin. First shot in the 10th frame, a good one. She is in the 260s. Going to win the match, and certainly will add the 30 bonus pins. So she could be working her way potentially into the top 4 right after this game. As Beatty, big 4. And takes the count. Good shot there from Jody. Jody making match play, but she struggled a little bit during the first round yesterday. Trying to climb out the cellar there. Good shot. And a wrap 10 for Beatty Rodriguez. Talked about what she had to do to make match play. Going plus 116 in round 3. She finished 17th at plus 5. Brittany Smith shot 277. We'll go ahead and add 107 pins to her total, including bonus. It's a pretty good score. All right, Kulik to the open in the 8th. 9th frame shot. About 19 or so at the arrows. Kulik, 10th frame. Out of trouble. Well, Jody Westner will have a chance here. Chance to win this match. She's 1-6 through 7 games. Potentially some momentum building. Here she can come away with a victory. She'll have an opportunity here. She is up in the 9th. Queuing up 26 on Shannon Pluhowski. Good shot there from Westner. So a very important double. Nine-pin for Jody Westner. Kulik finishes with 215. She'll get the W. Well, Jody will need some help now, of course, from Rodriguez. At the moment, it'll be a 6-pin advantage for Maria. She would go strike spare. That would do it, of course. On a spare, though, so count important, especially on the first shot. $192 for Westner, $183 for Asbady. Well, that's a good mark to start. And Maria just needs a good count on 2 balls. All right, Rodriguez will get a W. .207, the final score for Maria, 207 to 192. Rodriguez with the match and the victory. We head to game number 3. First round of match play went by about 2.5 hours. So moving right along here this morning. Here at the Gold Bowling PWBA Players Championship We'll take one small break. We'll be back with more right after this. Bowl TV on Extra Frame.
So if we're dealing with an asymmetrical ball, CG has the only influence it's going to have on it is, do I need a hole? Do I not need a hole? Okay. Symmetrical ball, symmetrical chord ball, it's going to be similar, but you've got some more things you can do. You can do to it and still have it roll a similar way. Okay. With an asymmetrical ball, you've got your pin, you've got your mass bias. Where you put those pieces on the ball are going to determine, for the most part, what that ball's going to want to do. Now, let's start back at the beginning. The main piece of this is what this is designed to do. Okay. If we got a bowling ball that's designed to hook real soon, hook a whole bunch, probably not going to turn it into a skiddy flippy ball. Vice versa. If it's a skiddy flippy ball, you can put a bunch of surface on it and drill it to roll early and you'll tame it down some. It's probably still not going to be your best option.
All right, as you can see, Game 3 is underway. Be curious about the little tease vid that you saw in between games there. Nice little bit between one of our cooler dudes, Jason Milligan, talking equipment and certs and specifications and such. A couple of things we have done with Jason in regards to the core. And talking about various items along those lines, going behind the scenes and getting some of the inside stuff from someone with a very experienced background, for example. So part of that, of course, see the whole vid. Be a subscriber to thecorebowl.com/thecore for more information. If you're local and you want to learn more in person, there'll be a tailgate outside the bowling center this morning into the afternoon. Starts at 11 a.m. Central. A chance to win some logo merchandise. Of course, there'll be food, fun, beverage as well, and opportunity for some VIP seating for tomorrow's live TV show, but the additional tape shows as well. So shout out to Brent Houghton, taking care of business and handling things for you outside if you were involved in part of the core tailgate. Leanne Holsenberg and Lindsey Boomershine. They'll face off here in game number 3. Danielle McEwen and Shai Donald Hamidi. Olsenberg, 3-6-10 takes care of that. Mentioned Leanne again had a really good week last week in Detroit. Finished tied for 5th. Losing in the group stepladder final. In a group stepladder final to Daria Payonk. Boomershine. Read the recap from last night, wonderfully written by Matt Cannizzaro. I know that see what Lindsay talked about in regards to just kind of staying in the moment, but something I thought was very interesting, of course, that she hasn't bowled much. 3rd event, and last time she bowled was an additional major. Of course, more games this year here at the Players, and so not in the swing of things, if you will, on tour. Used to bowling weekly and kind of absorbing the grind. Now has to kind of deal with it right here at the major where she has led. Of course, more games, 12 more today, of course. Said she was a little sore, but that's all a part of it, which was, I thought, was the best part of what she said. All a part of it, and of course to win a major there's certainly going to be some soreness and some things are going to ache. She's ready for it, ready to attack it, be aggressive, and stay focused.
Mr. Williams, you have to figure we're past the halfway point here of the 2017 PWBA Tour season, and it's a lot of miles covered for these players, both between stops and really on the approaches as well. A lot of games bowled, and even though it's only 2 days a week, plus additional practice, it's pretty grueling, and the players will tell you they love the opportunity. That's the first thing they want to let you know is they appreciate being here, the chance to have a tour. They're not complaining about any of it in the long days and just what it takes. They're just discussing and pointing out. When you ask them, what does it take to be successful out here? What are some of the challenges? What is the experience like? And it's very mentally tough. You're bowling on some pretty challenging lane conditions, so it tests you that way. And then, if you have one bad day or one bad block, that's possibly it for the week. And then so that kind of stays with you. The expenses of making the travel and going from stop to stop. Because you love it, and because you want to succeed. There's pressures added for sure. Especially if things aren't going well for a couple weeks. It's just back to back to back, and it can wear on you a little bit, and it wear on you physically for sure. Especially, if you're one of these players who is in the cut every week, bowling the cashers round, bowling the step ladders. There's a lot of games that can be bowled in a short time, and there's torn thumbs, and there's busted up knees and ankles and wrists, and they love it. They absolutely love it. That's the one thing. You don't hear any complaining or whining, or it's nothing like that. They put the tape on it, they rub the dirt on it, as you say. Lindsay said you have to dig deep. That's what it's about. You want to be a professional champion. You push through those things. You put ice on it. Maria Rodriguez, we posted a photo yesterday. She put ice on her head. Just joking around that
Literally though.
that she was fried.
You did do that.
It was tough. It gets tough. You have to. There's a lot of pieces that you have to put together. It's not just bowling. There's a lot of thought process and again, very emotional and very passionate. These ladies, they're having an opportunity they didn't have a few years ago, and they want it badly. So it's tough, and they get through it. And for Lindsay, she's relatively fresh, as you mentioned. It's only her third event, so a little bit different perspective than say, Danielle McEwen, who's been out here for every day of every week, or Leanne Holstenberg, who just compared herself to the old car in the Cars movie, trying to keep up with all these young cars. Leanne was doing this and doing it week to week for 30 weeks a year when some of these players didn't yet exist. So she's seen a different perspective. And
many. She's probably on like title 18 by the time.
It was something that she had that went away. And now, as somebody who knows how special that was, wants to make sure that the younger players have this moving forward. And of course, she's out here wanting to prove that she still got it, and she certainly has. Made a couple TV shows, won the U.S. Open title back in 2011. So still has the fire, still has the ability to come out here and make cuts, and and again, physically, as these players get a little bit older too, things don't work quite as well as they used to. They have to adapt their games, adapt to equipment changes. Sometimes there's rehab and exercise and surgery and different things, but they do it because they love it, and they do it for the future. and they want to make sure that the tour is back and it stays. And even for the players who maybe didn't bowl well, there's still pro-ams and there's still fans and autographs, and you wouldn't know by walking past any player, how the week went. It's just everybody's upbeat and grateful, and I think it's great. And you just see that from start to finish. We had a pro-am on Wednesday, right? Thursday, whatever, earlier this week.
Wednesday?
Um,
Was it? Yeah, it was Wednesday.
and then we'll have another one tonight. So by that point, many of these players will have bowled 36 games of intense competition. But again, you wouldn't know it because they're going to interact. They're just going to appreciate. And I think that's the key thing. The fans are grateful to spend time with them, and they are equally grateful to spend time with the fans. So definitely, mutual in that regard. Just happy to have this chance to chase the dream. Some of them with additional careers at home. Some of them, this is it. They're chasing the dream, and it's only getting better for them and fighting through it. You see, when Boomerstein turns around here, the tape on the knee. There's a lot of different tapes and things being used out here, but they're all smiling at the same time.
Kind of joyful to watch, and well put, as you described. But it's really joyful in that sense to play a very, very small role, but to watch them compete and put everything out there on the lanes, on the approach. Tears of joy, the tears of sorrow, the pain, the grimacing, the frustrations.
I think, our time collegiately, you as a player and me as a coach, overlapped a little bit. And it was about the time where this opportunity went away back in 2003. And so I haven't been with USBC that long. The opportunity to see, just the cycle of it, to see it go away, and then just to be with these players at the few events they did have, the USBC Queens, the US Women's Open, and then to be there, with the announcement of the tour coming back, pretty phenomenal. Just to see, as you mentioned, the upbeatness of it, and what those events meant to them. The PWBA Women's Series when that came around, it's been nice to be there from, the lowest point in 2003 to right now, a thriving PWBA tour, and great matches like we're seeing here. The Hall of Famer bowling right in front of us. So still starstruck every single week. The best of the best of multiple generations now. We've got Leanne Holstenberg stepping up against one of today's top talents, Lindsey Boomershine. Of course, our international stars like Shaidatul Hamidi from Malaysia. Shaidatul leading the way here at plus 592 after 26 games. Boomershine close behind at plus 565 and going to pick up some sticks here. She can hang on and get this win against Holstenberg. Break there to get the 4 forward. So Lindsay in good position here. I believe she lost her last match 234-233. So losing those 30 pins hurt a little bit. That would have put her right there with Hamidi. But Lindsay's goal coming in today was just do her thing. Stay with the process. Don't look at the leaderboard. Just do her best to stay in the top 4 and make the TV show. Give herself a chance and for her would be a chance at redemption after being the #1 seed last year in St. Petersburg, and let's just say underperforming on the TV show to fall to Rocio Restrepo in the title match. So a lot of motivation to get back in that place and have another chance at title #1.
I tell you, if she keeps throwing shots like this first one in the 10th, she split the 8-9. Four and 4 in match play, but it's always the one pin losses, especially 234, 233. I think it's fair to say overall, despite even though Shai Dottle has certainly been rolling along here in match play, that Boomer Shine has bowled the best overall, was most consistent. Of course, the stats will, the end of rounds, kind of back that up in regards to being the leader. .266, the official number. Olsenberg can still get to 245.
Leanne did comment when she got down here after seeing Lindsay's 1-pin loss that Lindsay might be a little extra motivated and fired up coming down here. And I think Leanne said she lost by a pin as well, but a little different demeanor. Just grateful to be out here and bowling in match play right now. And of course, hoping for another opportunity to get back on TV. Our take on some of the young guns in the 2013 Queens. First of 2 wins for Diana Z. Leanne not far out. 7th place right now. Plus 350, about 150 out of the top 4. Pick up a few pins here. Olsenberg finishes with 225. Boomershine 266 plus 30 for the win. So a nice little push there. Our leader, Shai Dottle Hamidi, 1 pair to the right, 222. She's going to defeat Danielle McEwen, pick up 30 pins of her own.
8-1. Right now we can
All right, Emil having a moment with that. We'll go back to talking about Hamidi and her spot atop the standings, but with that win, Boomershine should go back around Shai Dottle into the lead. And then, of course, again, you have the timeless question about getting to the TV show and being the number 1 seed. Still, again, a long way to go. We have a whole nother round of match play, but if you are the number 1 seed, you have the benefit of needing to win only 1 game. You're guaranteed at least a second place finish. But for some players, it's it's the place they want to be, and then at the same time, you don't have the opportunity to be on the lanes to get a match, get loose before having to bowl the title. But it's always interesting to have that conversation. Of course, most will say, I want to be number 1. I want to have 1 shot at it. Only have to win 1 game. Can't do worse than second. Cool. It's just, it's interesting. A lot of pressure being the number 1 seed and coming out cold and having to bowl somebody who just won a match.
Yeah, it's always. I don't think. I think if you polled most players, 95% would say they'd rather be the top seed, and you'll certainly take the odds there. And I do think some would say, hey, I'd be happy to be loose, be warm, have a good idea of what the lanes are already doing. So in that regard, to be ahead of moves, or at least have the next move already calculated if you need to go to it. In that regard, but I'll take the 1 game. I'll take my chances.
Here's somebody who's been the number 1 seed once or twice. Shannon Pluhowski, the lone left-hander in match play here. She was our number 1 seed at the U.S. Women's Open. Last year, went all the way from the 24th spot, I believe it was.
Last
one in.
Very similar to this week.
But unfortunately, as the top seed, that event did not turn out in her favor. A very emotional loss. And then having to turn around right away and be on one of the other TV shows. So, also an interesting twist to the PWBA TV setup. 4 TV shows going to take place here at the Ashwaubenon Bowling Alley. Tomorrow we'll start things off with the live show of the PWBA Players Championship at noon Eastern. And then we will have the taped finals for the Wichita, Lincoln, and Detroit events. And already, at least the 1 player, Lee Jane Sin of Malaysia, on multiple shows. So even though the events were a week apart, or multiple weeks apart, the show's only minutes apart. So if one goes well, excellent momentum going into the next, and if it does not, having the extra challenge of putting that aside and focusing on the next one. So again, I think the players will absolutely take the opportunity for having bowling on TV and the setup with the 4 shows in 1 location. Great exposure, gives us the chance to have women's bowling on TV every Tuesday night. And we'll have that throughout July with this group of TV shows. Last Tuesday it was Kelly Kulik breaking through for her first title since the relaunch of the PWBA Tour. Talk about emotions. There definitely were some tears after that title match. Just a lot of things happening this year for Kelly to make that win a little bit extra special. And tomorrow the possibility of 4 more emotional victories. shot there by Pluhowski. Our other match, Leanne Holstenberg taking on Lee Jane Sin, who we mentioned, a top seed at the Wichita and Lincoln events. Great showing for Malaysia during this 4-event swing. We've seen great success out of the players from Singapore. They were here for the first part of this tour season. And now Malaysia stopping in for a few minutes, and then they'll head home to prepare for the Southeast Asian Games, which they'll be hosting. The SEA Games, very, very important. Singapore back home preparing for that right now. But terrific international representation. 13 different countries competing here this week out of the 67 players.
Well, of the 18 here in match play, 7 made match play last year at this event, including Shannon Pluhowski, who finished 12th in 2016, as well as Shaidatul Hamidi, who finished 10th. Liz Johnson was the runner-up to Clara Guerrero. Sierra Restrepo just missed television last year. She finished 5th. Kelly Kulick finished 6th. Danielle McEwen finished 11th, and C.T. Rockman finished in 14th. Next year, this event will be at Boardwalk Bowl in Orlando, Florida, where next week, Boardwalk will make their tour debut as a host next week, where match not all the ties within the Central Florida area, but he certainly has Florida ties, of course. He'll be in attendance. Her Boardwalk's pretty cool place.
It is sizable. I believe it was a warehouse or a Walmart or just some sort of gigantic store at some point. Those lanes went in. It's been probably getting close to 20 years now. But that center now run by PWBA Tour champion Kendra Gaines, who is a very passionate competitor still, but very focused on the proprietor side of things, and working her way up to the ginormous, I believe there's 80 lanes or so at Boardwalk Bowl, but doing great things there, hearing terrific things about her success at her previous center across town and now at Boardwalk. Just like with our tournament director, Tennille Milligan, having somebody in the positions who had experienced this type of competition, understands what the players want and need, and what the fans are all about. I think that makes the events that much more successful. So looking forward to going there. Of course, you mentioned my ties to Florida, getting to basically go home, and I'm sure a lot of the fans who come out and watch are going to be folks that I know, and some of the players from that area as well. So it's going to be pretty neat. We'll have back-to-back events in Florida for the players, just making those extra days, taking advantage of some of the attractions and different things. And then to have a major headed that way next year. The players have said many, many great things about the Ashwaubenon Bowling Alley and the staff here and just the community. And I think we're seeing that, and you can speak more to it, but in returning to the different cities, each year they've learned from the year before, whether it's the bowling center or the fans or the community, understanding what the event's about, what the players are about, and seeing the events get even better from year to year.
No doubt about it. I would think, you know, pe- players from a bowling perspective, from the center and some of the characteristics and the lane to lane, they're taking their notes and, rehashing what they remember, um, the previous year. And then from the fans' perspective, of course, they look forward to, obviously seeing the players. And then many, develop a connection of some sorts by watching them, and whether 300 or something, some clutch performance or a pro-am situation, which happens very often. Of course, the fans obviously get a chance to bowl with the players, and then they get to talk maybe about bowling, but just kind of see the players in a different light a little bit, kind of relaxed, not in a completely serious moment. Of course, they're athletes, and when they are on the lanes being professionals, and that's what they're doing, and certainly obviously know how to want to have fun and be relaxed when they can, and be able to chat and relate with the fans in that regard as well. There's several fans we've had who not only know every player, remember every player. Wow, 6'8" there for Pluhowski, and some pin came out and did nothing to clip the 9-pin, the 8-pin. But so the fans certainly remember, they do develop that kinship. It'll be slightly different for a few places next year, but I think that's kind of the cool part in regards to next year's schedule, to be able to get to a few different areas around the country that have not had a PWBA style for many and ever, and or obviously a very long time. It's been several years. For example, like a Fountain Valley, where it had been 25 years since a women's event was held.
Well, if you would like to check out the schedule for 2018 to see if the PWBA is coming your way, you can do that at pwba.com. And click on the tournaments tab. You'll see the 2018 schedule. Right there is the second option. So definitely nice to know that things are being planned ahead, and there will be a PWBA tour in 2018. Again, some familiar venues on the schedule, and some new ones to expand the exposure of the tour and the players. We see those relationships that you mentioned with the fans returning year after year. You get to see some of the young bowlers grow up, and it's always good when they say, you might not remember me, but from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and the players actually know their names, and that's pretty awesome. So those are future PWBA players and champions and lifetime fans and social media followers, and but I think it's just the connection is bowling, and everybody focused on some of the same great goals for the sport. And it takes both the players and the fans to keep things going and keep things successful. And with that, let's see who's being successful here at the Ashwaubenon Bowling Alley. Here in match play, Boomershine back on top of the standings at plus 661. She is 2-1 on the day here. She leads Shaidad Al-Hamidi, who we're watching right now here in our featured pair. She's at plus 644. Third place, Brittany Smith at plus 531, so 113 back. A little separation there for the top two. Kelly Kulik hanging in fourth place, 2-1 on the day at plus 514. She's got the 4 spot, only 4 advanced to the TV show. Sidi Rahman of Malaysia is 5th, 14 pins behind Kulik. Liz Johnson, the Hall of Famer, 6th, 17 pins behind Kelly at plus 497. Wow. And then we see some more separation as 7th place Leanne Holstenberg is 139 pins away. at plus 375. So Leanne here on our featured pairs got a little bit of work to do. The split there in the 7th frame, gonna slow her pace as she is trying to defeat Lee Jane Sin here in our 4th game of match play, 4 of 6. Shani Blachowski trying to make the climb as well. The lone left-hander's got things to herself there on the left side, and she is 14th right now, 292 pins out. I'm not saying that we haven't seen her put together some incredible blocks, but for some of the players running out of time. We've got game 4 happening right now of 6. Take a break, come back this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern for our next round, and that's it. 6 more games there, and we'll cut things down. Blachowski putting on some pressure. Committee's gonna finish first, can get to 228. Shannon still can get to 246 with a big double there in the 8th and 9th. The bottom part of our field, number 15, 16, 17, 18, all more than 450 pins out of the top 4. Maria Jose Rodriguez, Amanda Green, Shalyn Zilkeefley, and Jody Westner. So Blachowski in 14th place, 292 out. We've seen crazier things happen, but we appreciate everybody tuning in here live on Extra Frame as we roll through 2017 Go Bowling PWBA Players Championship here in Green Bay. 2nd major of the year, and you're watching it live with Matt Canizaro and Emil Williams Jr.
Where else would you rather be on a Saturday? A Saturday morning, no less.
Well, hopefully, many of our young bowlers are out there at the youth leagues. I know there's some state tournaments and things going on right now, so hopefully if you're not watching bowling, you're actually bowling, or doing even both now, since Extra Frame is mobile.
Indeed it is.
Take it with you, share it with your friends. Back-to-back open frames for Hulsenberg. Still not out of this match. She can shoot 202. Lee Jane Sin will finish first. She can shut out Hulsenberg. Shaidata will fall to Blachowski here, but still pick up a few pins. Hulsenberg gets the 6 to go. Get a little score correction here for the Hall of Famer. Put a little bit of pressure on Lee Jane Sin. Shaidata finishes with 215. Blachowski stepping up here on lane 36. Close things out. Shannon goes high, leaves just the 6 pin. She will need to pick this up. Jane Sin leaves just the 8. Almost left the 10 with it.
.225, 215. Puhalski over Hamidi.
All right, Lee Jane can double up here, shut out Holstenberg, and leaves the 9 pin this time. 195 max score for her, so that'll give Leanne a chance to double for the win. Final shot coming up for Lee Jane. Fill ball always strikes, it seems. 195. Holstenberg again with a chance to double here to snag those 30 bonus pins. She'll need every one of them. She is not far out. Plenty of time to get there.
Oh.
A speechless moment there for sure. Incredible shot for Holstenberg. Buries it. Leaves the 8 pin. Sin will get the victory and the bonus pins. Lee Jane in 11th place. Uncharacteristic miscue there for Leanne. Giving up 12 sticks. 195, 170, Sin over Holstenberg. We'll have game 5 of this round of match play coming up in just a minute. Matt Canizaro, Emil Williams Jr. at the Ashwaubenon Bowling Alley in Green Bay. We'll be right back.
I bowled better than I had expected to have bowled, considering the way I've been feeling lately. And it's especially great that my sister and my little niece Kendall could come out. They had this planned about 2 months ago, so I guess it was a good omen that they were able to come out and join me, and you know, good things happen, I guess.
Well, there was some extra special meaning this week for Wendy, as well as what the meaning of the title would be. And there's her sister Blair and the new baby. Look at her, she's adorable.
Kendall Lee Smith.
Here.
It does look that way.
I thought maybe the fact that Carol had won in Delaware 1992, maybe the city would bring her a little luck, but it was in a different bowling center. Again, it was in Holiday Lanes, not here at Bowl-A-Rama.
She's still striking on lane 59, but best she can do here is 195. Wendy's not even going to need a mark.
Increasing her chances for Bowler of the Year. Wendy McPherson-Papanos appears to be on her way to be the champion here in Delaware.
Well, Carol will add yet another second place finish to her stats for the year. That'll be 3 for 1997. She has 1 first, now 3 seconds. If she goes on to lose this match, 1 third, 1 fourth, and 2 fifths.
Well, in 92, she was runner-up to Player of the Year, and she had 4 titles that year.
Wow.
So once again, a runner-up position for Carol Giannotti Block. She finishes out with 192. Wendy McPherson-Papanos.
Really just needs pin count. I believe like 6 pins on this ball would end it.
Oh, and a big smile from Wendy. Carol Giannotti Block takes $6,000. These roommates have actually shared quite a bit of money here tonight. I'm wondering who will be buying the dinner.
Yeah.
I think probably Wendy there. She got the bigger chunk of the money.
Do you think that they should maybe like buy the entire tour dinner here?
Yeah, between the two of them, they could throw a nice party. That wouldn't be bad, you know. Cater the whole bit.
Well, this is the second time they met each other for the championship this year. Last time was at the Lubbock Open in Texas.
And Wendy McPherson-Papanos won that event. So Carol Giannotti would have liked to have changed things around tonight, but fate didn't have it that way. A big hug from Carol. Wendy McPherson-Papanos, our champion here at the Columbia 300 Delaware Open. We'll be back to talk to her.
That look at the PWBA vault was, of course, Wendy McPherson. Certainly one of the greatest players in tour history. Now back to live action. Danielle McEwen taking on Lee Jane Sin. Two players who were on the last year's Queens telecast in 2016. Jane Sin making 2 shows, the Queens and the Greater Detroit Open. McEwen made 2 as well, winning 1. Sin finished 5th at the Queens, 2nd in Detroit. McEwen 3rd at the Queens, won the Wichita Open. Pluhowski and Boomershine as we await our updated stats. .245 there for Boomershine. The best at being able to get left, go left to right. Here is Danielle. The ball looked like it was about 17, 18-ish at the arrows. Relatively direct. The angle's in front for Danielle here. And the chop of the 2-4 takes it right off, leaves the 5. Everything for Danielle. Always kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What I mean by that is you can't see it off screen, but you know, her shot begins once the next one or the previous one is over. She'll go over to the next lane and immediately begin the pre-shot routine, a couple practice swings before she steps on the approach. Make sure she's good there, pat of the rosin bag. Doesn't take too much time, a very good shot. Pay attention to it when she steps up on 36 here. You know, pre-shot routine, obviously important for most players. Generally, everyone will have some sort of routine, whether it's long, short. It could be 2 wipes of the bowling ball. It could be you've got to recite the lyrics to whatever song you like at that time. Recite a sentence of it before you go. I mean, whatever it is. But you just kind of watch how the players stay in their own rhythm. Pluhowski, she's pretty quick on the lanes. Doesn't take a lot of time. Even, you know, watch her when she comes to a new pair, a new match, for example. She'll generally be the first to go, of course, you know, unless it's not her turn or unless she's elected to or someone has chosen for her not to go first. This is game 5. We started our day, of course, right here on 35, 36, 37, and 38. We had Pluhowski and Sabrina Divis. It was McEwen taking on Rocio Restrepo. That is the Live Now post that you still see up there. I want to say hello to Von Dunnett. She was watching, commenting via Twitter. Mrs. Brummett watching from Fort Wayne, Indiana. With a good friend and colleague who works at Indiana, Fort Wayne. Always curious to what some of the fans' pre-shot routine includes. How long is it? Is it relatively quick? Is it short? How much do you have in there? And a 2-pin here for Boomershine, trying to figure out this left lane. This is game 5, so of course the lanes have certainly done some changing. Less bowlers, of course. Round 2 of match play. Good shot, wrap 10 for McEwen. We do not know the details and variables of this week's lane condition. We will find out tomorrow on the broadcast, the live broadcast on CBS Sports Network. All right, after 28 games, 4 games here this morning, Shahidul Hamidi, 9 pins in front of Lindsey Boomershine. Hamidi at plus 659, 8-2 match play record. Boomershine plus 650, 5-5. Brittany Smith is in third. She has made the climb. She is 4-0 on the day. Trying to get to her first TV finals appearance. She's at plus 582. Kelly Kulick is fourth. Liz Johnson is in fifth. Just 3 pins back of Kelly. CT Rockman is sixth. 33 pins back of fourth. Danielle McEwen in seventh. 180 pins back of fourth. Esther Chia is in eighth. 203 pins back. Pluhowski is slowly moving up the leaderboard. Of course, began yesterday in 18th.
I got questions for you when you just tell me when during the break.
Now into 13th is Buchowski, 7-3. She is 3-1 today. No big games as of yet. But she'll, if she continues this here and into game 6. She'll be in a pretty good position to continue to move up and maybe get to the top 4. All right, Danielle now 4 consecutive 9 counts after beginning front 3 9 spare strike. Updated standings, be sure to check those out. PWBA.com/live. Boomershine trailing and get some love in the 8th. Trips the 4. Ball change. Lee Jane Sin. All of a sudden, she's got a 4-bagger. And a flat 10 in the 10th frame. So Danielle now will have the opportunity to win this game. Best Lee Jane can do now is shoot 215. Danielle could go strike spare and shoot 216. Get the win. 9 spare strike. Potentially be a tie. Of course, it all depends on, of course, the spare here and then the fill shot for Lee Jane. Buchowski, 9th frame, didn't like it. And the 2-4. She's in pretty good position still. Shoot 207. Mershine can get to 201. 215. You see Danielle there. Couple practice swings beforehand. That's on the rosin bag, wipes the left shoe. So strike spare. She wins by 1. 9 spare strike. We've got a tie. 9 spare 9. She would lose. So very important count situation here on this shot. First one good. course, a strike here ends it. But she'll still have an opportunity to make a spare and win. Doesn't have to do that. She'll have 30 bonus pins and a victory over Lee Jane Sin. Seven spare for Boomer Shine. I think Lindsay's just trying to relax a little bit. Lane's playing a little tough here in game number 5. Nice finish for Danielle, 226. And she gets the victory. Brittany Smith, tough start. In their match against Sabrina Davis, but now has 4 in a row as she heads to the 10th frame. The delay here is Lindsay chatting with Storm Rep Jim Callahan, trying to come up with some potential moves and things to try in the 10th frame here. Trailing by 26. She could get to 181. All Shannon needs is just a good count on the first shot, and she'll be a winner. So let's see what Lindsay does here. She's already made a ball change. Look pretty good. I tell you, not sure you can throw it better than that. The good news is she doesn't have to bowl another game on this pair, at least not this round. All right, try something on the fill. 169. Tough game there for Lindsay, but some of those games do happen, certainly. And it's about just the response and how she will rebound. One more game to go. Certainly understand, obviously, don't want to give too many pins away. Starting to get a little close at the top of the standings. Here is Pluhowski trying to make that run. For someone like Shannon, unable to strike there, but she will get the win and another 30 pins of bonus. Going from 18th, currently sitting in 13th. And realistically, let's see if she can get into the top 10. She could get into the top 10 with a big game here in game number 6. So it could happen for Shannon in that regard. Just taking it kind of one game, one round at a time for Pluhowski. So some of the things to continue to watch here. Lowski will shoot 195. Leanne Holsenberg got a victory 184 to 153 over Shaidal Hamidi, so that will help Lindsey Boomershine. In fact, Boomershine will reclaim the lead after this game, even though she shot 169, if my math is correct. Neither player got the victory. It's a 9-pin deficit for Boomershine. And essentially defeating, obviously, Hamidi there by 16 pins just based on score. They did not bowl one another. But her low game 13 pins higher than the low game of Hamidi. So Boomershine will be in the lead. Her match play record will be 5-6. Hamidi drops to 8-3. Did not see what Brittany Smith finished with. She was in third, had the back four as she headed into the 10th frame. Well, historic matchup here. Nothing on the line per se, but anytime Liz Johnson and Kelly Kulick square off in a match play type setting, you can't help but kind of get giddy. Those two will bowl one another. They will be the opening match in Lincoln. The Pepsi Lincoln Open Show. Kulick, the 4th seed there. Liz Johnson, the 3rd seed. So, looking forward to that. Your TVs. That show specifically airs July 11th, 8 p.m. Eastern. Jody Westner taking on Brittany Smith, so we'll get a chance to see Brittany Smith, who was in 3rd, Kulick was in 4th, and Liz Johnson was in 5th. After (29 games). Wow, and just like that, we've got our new updated score sheet. And when you don't have all the scores, you say, hey, Lindsey Boomershine might be in the lead, would be in the lead. She went ahead of Hamidi based on their scores. But the new leader is now Kelly Kulick at plus 648. So Kells 4-1 on the day. Her only loss, she shot 202, no games under 200. And game 5 today, 257. Throw on the extra 30 bonus spins. And she is now in front of Lindsey Boomershine. Open frame to start for Smith. So it's Kulick, Boomershine, Shaidal Hamidi, and now Siti Rockman has moved into the 4th position. Brittany Smith just 4 pins back. Liz Johnson 10 pins back. Danielle McEwen in 7th, 139 pins back. So this one's shaping and developing into certainly what we thought and what we would expect at a major. The intrigue continues to build for the final round of match play this afternoon. This will take place at 2 p.m. Central Time. 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. Double check and make sure that is correct. Man around town, Matthew Canizaro.
What is happening, sir? I stepped away for 5 minutes to catch up with some folks, check in with the boss man finally in the building, and we have a new leader. I mean, I'm not shocked by any means, but Kelly making moves here. I'm sure you've been talking about that.
Just got done chatting about it. The scores were updated very quickly, and as soon as the match started, refresh, boom, Kelly Kulik. Right after I'd said that Lindsey Boomershine, at no worse, had moved ahead of Shaidal Hamidi based on their Game 5 scores.
Yes, we did talk about that prior to my departure. And then and Kelly shooting 257 to sneak in there by a bunch, not even a little bit.
Well, 257 with a W certainly will help your cause. Kelly scores today 233, 215. Again, 202 the lone loss, 217, 257.
All right, so this is our final game of 6. Here for our second round of match play at the 2017 Pro Bowling PWBA Players Championship. We'll have a short break. We'll have our final round of match play coming up this afternoon. 6 more games starting at 3 p.m. Eastern as we inch our way closer to knowing our 4 finalists for tomorrow's live broadcast. The crowd's going to be growing here at the Ashwaubenon Bowling Alley in Green Bay. Got a tailgate going on outside. So it is Wisconsin, so beer and brats. And some of the best female bowlers in the world doing their thing here. Fighting for a major title, second of the year. And what a Hall of Fame showdown we have here on 35 and 6. Kelly Kulik and Liz Johnson. Liz already in the Hall of Fame. Kelly a shoe-in.
I'm not sure Kelly's done enough, man.
What has Kelly done? Just this week she's done enough.
I'm just not sure that she has done enough to earn Hall of Fame status. Just not sure. Maybe she's got to win one more PBA Tournament of Champions to get the job done, or the 6 majors. If she wins this one, this will put her over the top.
This could be it. So, the main requirement that she must be 40 years old. I believe is probably the only thing holding Kelly back at this point. But
well, you know, that's a pretty. If you're not going to be in the Hall of Fame, that's a good reason not to be, because that means that you're still young.
Well, you see, though, this is one of those wacky situations where, you know, Liz Johnson, she's been in the Hall of Fame for a couple of years, and you know, how many incredible wins has she added to her resume since going into the Hall of Fame? You know, it's one of those sports where you can go in and then have decades of success after the fact. You know, Liz, far from done, 2-time reigning Player of the Year here on the PWBA Tour. Gave it a run at the Queens this year for a potential another major title. She's got a half dozen U.S. Open wins. Liz far from done. Kelly on her way as well. But if you are a bowling fan of our generation, seeing these two on the lanes against each other is pretty much as good as it gets.
Some good info from Jim Callahan, watching Kelly Kulick. Of course, two Storm players here. Kelly with a ball change and a move left. I believe you described Kelly on the lanes, did you say animated yesterday? In a way, I mean, you can read kind of sometimes what she's saying to herself.
Yes, she's very, very animated, expressive in her mannerisms. After each shot, you can tell if she liked it or if she didn't. Liz mixes him up for the double and the advantage here against Kulick. Kelly 2 for 2 on the right lane. 3 spares on the left. Kelly with the 10 pin now. And our other match, splits aplenty. Westner and Brittany Smith. Right now, Brittany 4 pins out. On the spot on the TV show. 7 games to go. Kelly on top, plus 648. Lindsey Boomerstein, plus 619. And then a pair of Malaysians. Shardal Hamidi at plus 612. And CT Rockman. Plus 576. Liz Johnson also close. She has 10 pins out of the top 4, and then the separation between 6th and 7th. Danielle McEwen, 139 pins out. Deandra S. Beatty, 216 pins out. Getting to the point where it's almost time to start guessing who our 4 are going to be. Start getting the paperwork ready for the TV crew. Emil working on some tasks right now, as a matter of fact. Remember, we do have 4 TV shows coming up tomorrow. Well, the live show of the PWBA Players Championship, followed by tape broadcasts for the Wichita, Lincoln, and Detroit events. Those will air throughout July, but all those TV notes provided to the crew so they can start building graphics and doing some different things. Here's Kelly after a couple of balks. Perfect shot. Look great from here. Little Kelly head shake. Probably more about the process than the shot itself, but there's a note for the young bowlers. If you're not ready, you're not comfortable, step off. Put the ball down, start the whole process back until you are ready.
Very important not to give away shots and throw anyway shots, because that means I wasn't ready to go, but I threw it anyway. So call that an anyway shot. Talked to Rob Gaccio about that earlier, or yesterday, excuse me, when he was on. And we watched Rocio do it twice in one game, but, you know, Rocio doesn't go until she's good. And you got to respect that. And she pured both shots each time she came back.
Well, no shot clock here in match play, so no potential violations, so might as well take your time. Kelly venturing far enough left here. Kind of uncharted territory on the approach. I think that was part of the issue with the wacky weather here this week. A little bit warm, then a little bit cool, and some rain. So little humidity, tacky approaches, different things bowlers have to encounter. All part of the sport. Johnson with the washout now. Did build a nice lead here with the 3-bagger. Keelik now with the opportunity. Our other match, Westner and Smith. A little bit lower scoring affair. Now Westner with another split. Down yonder, Boomershine leads Sin. So the seesaw could continue here. We've had in the last 3 games 3 different leaders. While there is some separation for the top 6 or 7 here, a lot of leapfrogging within the top 3 or 4. With the slow wheel there on lane 35. She likes when she can get left and have a little room. And both her and Liz said they feel very comfortable at the Ashwaubenon bowling alley. Liz, of course, picked up a win at the 2015 USBC Queens here. Kelly's had some great performances and looking to cap those off with a victory. Nice break there for Liz. She'll finish first here, can get to 221 after the washout in the 8th. Kelly still a shot at 239. Kelly leading Boomershine and Hamidi. Boomershine going to defeat Sin. And Hamidi in position to defeat her Malaysian teammate, Shalin Zulkifli. If Kelly can finish strong here in the 10th, she should maintain her lead as we get to the end of our second round of match play. Emil, we're just blazing through this week. We bowled 18 games of qualifying and now 12 games of match play in the books. I know definitely not as physically grueling and intense for us, but it's pretty quick pace here. With 3 or 4 in a pair through qualifying, and now of course 2 in a pair for match play. When it's all said and done this afternoon, 36 games. Total pinfall will determine our top 4. And I'm going to guess that some of the players definitely feeling every bit of those 36 games and also loving every minute of it. But you called it. We're about 2.5 hours for our 6 games.
Good shot there from Kulik, but yeah, 36 games, but you know, majors bring that that caveat, that factor, and once you get done, you know, we talk about the U.S. Women's Open, you know, in that regard, once you get done with that event, you will have earned whether you cashed, obviously made match play, especially whoever wins. And the Players' Championship with that getting to that level, of course, with the addition of qualifying games, additional players this year in match play also.
Well, 2 players who enjoy the longer formats, gives them a chance to rise to the top. Liz Johnson and Kelly Kulik, and they're doing just that here at the Players' Championship. Kulik will get the victory against the Hall of Famer, 217-201. Pick up an additional 30 pins for the win. In their other match, it is Brittany Smith over Jody Westner, 180 to 154. So Brittany trying to snag a spot in the top 4. She was 4 pins out, but picks up the win, but loses 20 pins also in the process. So it'll be plus 10 for her that game. And the way it was looking, both Hamidi and Boomershine going to win as well. So the top 4 should remain unchanged. But we'll have the final update in just a few minutes. You can visit pwba.com/live to see the latest match play standings. Again, next round begins at 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll have that for you live here on Extra Frame. And then it likely will get exciting, intense a little bit. Especially with the way things have been bouncing back and forth between our top 3 or 4 players here. The fight for not only the show, but the top seed and the chance to only have to bowl 1 game for the $20,000 top prize. And of course, a major title on the PWBA Tour. So will it be Kelly Kulik opening the floodgates with the win in Fountain Valley? Or will it be Liz Johnson continuing the momentum we've seen over the last 2 PWBA Tour seasons? always a contender. Had a run of, was it 5 consecutive TV shows?
5 in a row.
5 in a row.
And she has either obviously qualified for all 5. Some you have seen. Some have yet to be determined. The final outcome.
All right. Or will it be the week of Team Malaysia already? 2 number 1 seeds for Lee Jae-sin. So she will try to win those titles as part of tomorrow's 4 TV shows. And CT Rockman also with a TV appearance coming up. Can we see them both in the finals of this event? We'll know that this afternoon. Emil, I think it's about time to go. Match play wrapping up here.
If you got like a vacation, you should probably enjoy it.
Absolutely. Folks, we do appreciate everybody tuning in here on Extra Frame. The ladies appreciate it. All the folks here at the Ashwaubenon Bowling Alley appreciate it. And your support of the PWBA Tour. This is the 2017 Go Bowling PWBA Players Championship. Second round of match play coming to a close. Standings will be updated online shortly. We will have the final round coming up today at 3 p.m. Eastern. Remember to check back. We will be here. Hope you are too. Folks, thank you for tuning in. That is the news for now. We'll see you on the lanes.
The ladies will return this afternoon at 2 p.m. for their final 6 games of head-to-head match play. Thank you for spending the morning with us, and we'll see you at 2 p.m. for more exciting competition at the Go Bowling PWBA Players Championship. But for all you bowling super fans, don't forget to head outside to the Core Tailgate. Experience what it's like to be part of the Core. Grab some food, drink, and enter for a chance to win VIP seats to tomorrow's live telecast, as well as other great prizes. We'll see you all at 2 p.m. for the conclusion of the Go Bowling PWBA Players Championship.